What is up, movie trivia Schmoedown fans? It's me again. I'm back for another Schmoedown reaction video. This time it's the Barbarian versus Drew McWeeny. Obviously two of my favorite characters, as a matter of fact, in the Schmoedown. You can clearly see who I'm supporting. I'm supporting the Finn's TKO exchange for the Barbarian. I kind of hate to do this at this point. I really do. I hate doing this. I keep rooting against the usual suspects, and it's not because I have something against the suspects. It's just they always somehow go up against people I like better this season, and I don't know what kind of luck is that. But the Barbarian, my favorite rookie of last season, and had a tough loss this year, and a not stellar performance in the free-for-all. But I'm willing to bet that if anyone can bounce back from that, it's definitely him. He's going up against a beast of a former champion, and the guy who was his partner as a champion, a defending champion, as a matter of fact, is actually his manager this season. And Sam Levine. So, yeah. Obviously, Drew McWeeny is sadly coming off of a loss to Lon Harris of Swag. But, yeah, again, another person who can bounce back from a loss like that is someone by the name of Drew McWeeny. So, it's really anyone's guess who's going to win this. So, I'm just going to go ahead and start the match. Obviously, again, I will be participating, but don't expect any. But I'm not pretending to know much of anything. I probably won't get any questions right at all. So here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown alongside my training partner in the gym and in movie trivia, Andrew Guy. I am merely Mark Baby Carrots Ellis, and Drew. You talk about a matchup of two Schmoedown stalwarts who have built up reputation not just in the arena, but also with their vibrant personalities outside of it. It is the Barbarian taking on the Godfather, Drew McWeeny.
Two of the best names in the business, Drew McWeeny and, of course, the Barbarian here. Two guys that are very respected in the league for their knowledge. Drew McWeeny, he's done it for year after year after year, but his success has really come in teams. We haven't seen him pick up a win in singles since 2018. But Craig, on the other side of it, he's had a very strong, short career. So today's going to be a big-time matchup between, honestly, behemoths of the game with very, very different histories.
Yeah, and while the Barbarian nor Elvis has ever retired suddenly, they are on a track to look to continue a sterling, really in any league that they want to compete in, they always fare well together, although it's a singles match, but I guess they're kind of a team. We let it fly for the animals around here. The real question is Drew McWeeny. What kind of singles shape is he in? Does he have the mindset to compete here today and possibly get a big win? Because, as you said, his record in singles, merely 2-4. He took a tough loss in his last outing, but you just get the feeling that record not quite indicative of the caliber of player that he is.
Well, what's really fascinating about Drew McWeeny is he is a Rushmore-level teams player. And in teams, you will see what he knows, and it is an infinite amount. It's really incredible. But for some reason, whether it's the wheel, whether it's the strategy, or whether it's just bad luck, Drew McWeeny has really struggled, as I said, in singles specifically. But if anyone can turn it around, it is Drew McWeeny. As you saw, he had a very great match against the Delinquent, another very strong competitor out there. But the Barbarian is still a guy out there trying to make a name for himself, even though, honestly, it seems like he already has. He just hasn't been able to do it record-wise. He hasn't been out on the floor or on the court as much as maybe we might like to see him.
Both these fellows looking to have a bright future for the rest of this season in the Schmoedown. And as for their storied past, let's have a look.
A legend returns. That is right. The former Movie Trivia Schmoedown Teams champion, the Godfather, Drew McWeeny, makes his triumphant return to the Schmoedown.
You know, the more you sort of poked me with the things that I've left unfinished, with the things that I've left undone in this league. I definitely want to make a go of this as a singles player. There is so much new blood now, and so I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to come back and face some of these new younger players who I think are monsters. I think have come to the table really ready to go.
There he is. Couldn't quite pull my muscle into it because of this.
He looks determined. He looks scary. His singles career, though, has never been exactly what we thought.
I definitely feel like singles has always been
Yeah,
a
there's
place
the
where
guy,
I have done
the
okay,
gang.
but not great. So I want to push that over. And yeah, a belt there would be a real vindication of the time I put in playing.
Hey man, you're not supposed to see this part of it. I didn't take Lon seriously. I thought he was going to sleep through the last match, but I'm going to be ready on Friday.
So we're set to face another
I
legend.
love the
But Elvis and I
mustache.
know a thing or two about that.
I want to say Barbarian because this dude puts his heart and soul into this. I mean, like, he really lives it.
When the great Tom Dagnino and the goat law John Roca sent us out into the wilderness to help them build the greatest faction the Schmoedown has ever seen, we scouted plenty of legends, and we found them to be just that. Overrated, tall tales that didn't live up to the hype.
There's no two ways to look at it, okay? The match that Drew McWeeny played against Lon Harris, he was rusty. That is not the force that Drew McWeeny is in the movie
absolutely.
Trivia Schmoedown. And now we have another formidable challenger in the Barbarian.
What I have learned is that everybody in this league is playing much, much better than I remember. There's no easy matches anymore.
What we put together in the dossier,
dossier.
was a faction that was greater than these so-called legends. So once I'm through with Mr. Son of Weenie, there will be no question that the legend is just that.
It's always nice to remember that Sam Levine and Finstock are a part of the movie Trivia Schmoedown. Sam Levine and Drew work very well together. They have a lot of common interests, and that seems to be a pretty good coach-competitor relationship. As for Finstock and the Barbarian and Elvis,
Speaking
they
of
seem to
which,
get
they
along
were
okay, but
kind of
as
going
of
head-to-head
right
in the
now,
first ever
we do not
free-for-all
currently have Gucci
of the Schmoedown.
in the stream, and so we're not sure if he's going to emerge as a manager or if he's sending one of his other minions to help coach. Sometimes less is more, especially when it comes to Gucci. Is that right?
I mean, it's really fascinating when you talk about these two player-manager relationships. One side of it, you talk about maybe the closest pair out there in Sam Levine and Drew McWeeny when you look at what they've done with Above the Line. And then on the other side of it, we've got a guy with so much promise and potential, but no support. Where is Bobby Gucci unless... Oh my God, I hope he's not in my house.
You'd noticed the smell by now. I'm looking in the private chat.
that's
Still
true.
no word from production on whether he's here, and so we got to get going here, Drew. So, are you ready to kick this match off, sir?
I am ready. Are you ready, Mark Ellis?
I am so pumped, and now to introduce the competitors and to tell us exactly what the clock is, the golden throat of Mr. Christian Harloff.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for
for
the movie Trivia Schmoedown. Introducing first.
Representing the usual suspects. The record of 4 wins, 6 losses,
defeats,
and 2 knockouts. The
Godfather!
Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, that's it?
There is
That was
Drew
great.
McWeeny.
Come on.
Drew, you don't have the best record in singles, but everybody knows how much you know about movies, and that's been applied to greater success in teams. And so, do you come in here today really looking to make a statement with a big possible win over the Barbarian?
Well, I feel like my first time back, I hadn't played in a while. And the game itself, you got to get back into. It's not just the knowledge, it's playing the game. So I feel like I had a warm-up match. I feel like I'm ready this time. I'm good to go, man.
Drew, obviously you've had an incredible amount of success in the teams division, and I
can barely
truly
even
do
see
believe that you are a singles belt contender. Do you think this is the year for you? Now that you got that get up in your step again, you're ready to play the game, is this the year where you become a belted champion in 2 separate divisions?
I'm going to give everything I have. I'll say this. I have never seen a more challenging field of contenders, though. It is a real bloodbath getting to that belt now.
Well, you talk about a bloodbath. You also talk about the guy who's going to be looking across from you virtually so today. What do you make of the Barbarian? What's your read on him, his odd antics, his fascination with the little thing on his shoulder, his movie trivia knowledge, all of it, any of it?
See, I'm not gonna get distracted by all the smoke and mirrors that the Barbarian brings to the table, because last time out I got lulled into thinking that Lon was asleep, and he was not. I was fooled. So this guy comes in. He's got a lot going on. All that matters is the answers he gives.
Yeah, Drew McWeeny, Mark, they're understanding what a lot of us had to as well, that Lon Harris was actually awake in that last match.
Harris was awake.
We did get confirmation that he did awake from a slumber, and so somebody who might still be snoozing is the opponent's manager. We know Elvis is going to show up. How about that opponent?
And his opponent, representing the Finstock Exchange, with a record of 2 wins, 1 defeat, and 1 knockout. And of course, his good friend, Elvis. The Barbarian!
Yeah!
Ooh, boy, the Barbarian sporting a fresh mustache. Elvis looking, although it is summertime, full winter coat approved. You seem locked, loaded, ready to go. But the first question I have to ask you, Barbarian, isn't necessarily about your opponent. It's about your manager, Gucci. We have not seen him enter the stream yet. Is there a backup plan in place, or are you just going to go solo and have Elvis coach you?
Look, Mr. Tom Dagnino, Bobby Gucci, is a man of many responsibilities. He's a man of many talents, and he's a man of many mysteries. So sometimes when we have, opponents that aren't, in championship matches, or opponents that are in championship matches, he just, trusts us to go out and have managerial support from our fellow teammates who he's also managed. So really, it's like he's managing me through whoever will be there, possibly Elvis, possibly someone else. We don't actually know.
In his absence.
So, Barbarian, while it does sound like you're trying to cover for your brother to your parents right now, we will take you at your word. I have to ask you, the competitor across from you and Drew McWeeny, is there any intimidation factor? You've played some of the best in the game in Bibiani, in Ellison, in Damon. However, you haven't quite got the numbers that McWeeny has. Does that matter at all when you come into this match, or does it feel like a fresh slate for you?
Look, my last match, I was placed against a demon. That demon used his dark magic to sway the game in his favor. This time you put me up against a god. He's a godfather type. Father of gods, I imagine. But we fight on behalf of the one true god, which is Crom, of course. And with Crom by our side, we will defeat
Crom laughs at you
on the field of battle.
All right, pretty good long-winded answers there, buying his manager some time to get in here, but filibuster no more. It's time to look at both of our competitors.
I have a feeling.
And there they are, Drew McWeeny, the Godfather, and the Barbarian. And as we noted in the Barbarian's interview, it is perfectly legal for a manager to name a substitute from their faction in their place. We just have to get word here and make it so. And with that knowledge intact, it is time for round number 1's rules. The rules of round numero uno are as follows. 8 questions will emerge from 8 different categories of movie trivia Schmoedown goodness. Each question is worth 1 point. There is no penalty for missing a question, and there is no stealing. At least there isn't in round number 1. As soon as we ask the question, competitors have 15 seconds to get that correct answer from the back of their brain to whatever writing surface they prefer. Once we ask you by name or nickname, please show what you wrote to your camera. Give it a hot second so we can read it. At the same time, you verbalize your attempt into the microphone. I'll remind each competitor of your 3 usages of the JTE rule throughout the duration of the match. That's your repeat a question. If you're not sure you heard it right or you just want to buy yourself another 15 seconds, use one of your 3 JTE rules. You also each have 1 challenge. You may utilize at any point throughout the 3-round match. You may initiate it, or your pet may initiate it, and then we'll bring in managers or whoever is in the stream, and they will deliberate to their heart's content. It will ultimately be your manager or whoever's in the stream that confirms and ratifies if said challenge is taking place. Drew McWeeny, the Godfather, do you understand the rules, and are you ready to go in round 1?
I am indeed.
I love his t-shirt.
And Barbarian / Elvis.
An Iron
you good and ready to
Giant
go?
t-shirt, I
And
think.
just like again to reiterate, Elvis is not a pet; he is my companion.
I'm sorry about that. Transgression removed.
Apologize to
Now,
Elvis.
now we are ready to compete.
Then let's get ready to do
Schmoedown!
Gentlemen, 3 rounds in the singles division, and of course, it all starts here in round 1. 8 questions from all over the movie trivia universe. Gentlemen, here we are. Your first question coming from the category of horror
Let's see how many
slash
questions I'm gonna
thriller.
miss.
Who plays the villainous Mitch Leary, who is taunting Clint Eastwood's Frank Horrigan, a Secret Service agent, in the action thriller In the Line of Fire?
I don't do the first one.
I got to lean on you here now because you say horror thriller. I go to horror movies. Most of my announcing companions do not care for horror movies. Not Ken, Christian, Brad. Steph, I think, likes them. You?
4, 3,
I'm pretty sure Steph doesn't like them.
1. And
said as much.
let's start with The Godfather. I'll answer
would
you,
be-
don't worry.
John Malkovich.
And The Barbarian.
Jalkovich.
From me to you, John Malkovich.
Both
That-
correct, even quoting the movie as we wait Drew's answer. We go to question number 2, and that is in the world of crime movies. Hey, Malkovich knows something about those films, too. Your question. Will Smith plays seasoned con man Nikki Spurgeon alongside Margot Robbie in what 2015 comedic drama?
Okay, so.
Barbarian
Dying
wrote it down
excited.
before he even said
I
the
am
question.
too scared to watch horror movies on my own now.
Well, come
That's
on
where
over.
I'm
You
at.
don't have to pay to use the bathroom.
I don't know what happened to me in my late 20s.
4,
I got weak.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. Let's go to Drew McWeeny.
I don't remember
Focus?
the title, but is it Focus?
You focused enough to get the correct answer, and Barbarian.
He had great focus to pull focus.
All right, good.
Wow, perfect through the first 2. I didn't even know that movie existed, Mark, as we get to question number 3. Coming from the category of family films, which actor starred in the 1960s family films Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? I know everyone's dying to know, Ellis. Mary Poppins or Chitty Chitty?
Oh, Chitty Chitty all the way. I have severe issues with the upbringing of those poor kids. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go to the Barbarian.
I thought this was a family show, so I'm not sure if I should say this out loud, but it is Dick Van
Dick
Dyke.
Van Dyke.
That is correct for a point. Drew McWeeny.
The man, the myth, Dick Van Dyke.
Dick
Yeah.
Van Dyke is correct, and they're both perfect so far. Drew, as we get to the category of directors. Fancy folks who do this.
said the
Your
man and the
question
myth, but he
for a
didn't say the
point.
legend. I guess
Which
he doesn't
MCU
do that.
filmmaker directed the films Dead Again, Artemis Fowl, and the 2007 film Sleuth?
Artemis Fowl was my second, super boy book series. I read Ender's Game first, and then Artemis Fowl. You know
Wow.
those? Yeah.
4,
Shouldn't
3.
say
I've never
super
read
I think I
boys
might
ago,
have
man.
made a
Okay.
bit of a
Pens
oopsie
down.
with the
Back
spelling.
to The
but
Godfather.
That would be Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh is correct, and the
Yeah,
Barbarian.
definitely made an oopsie with the spelling,
Kenneth
but
Branagh.
whatever.
It's tough to stump these fellas, and they're proving
Maybe
it
not
so
as much
far.
as I thought.
Yeah, no surprise here as we get into our 5th question. Just
Apparently there's
over
two
halfway
N's in
through the
both
round here,
Kenneth
gentlemen.
and Branagh.
The 5th question comes from the category of biopics. Who
That's 4
plays
N's.
Branch Rickey alongside Chadwick Boseman's Jackie Robinson?
Did
in
you say
42?
Jasmine Boseman?
You know, I got to brag here just a little bit. A previous trivia question answered Dick Van Dyke. One time he was in the crowd at the Comedy Store in the main room, and I performed for Dick Van Dyke and shook his hand afterwards.
Wow.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome, man.
All white suit.
Of course. And pens down, hands up. Where are we going here first, Mark?
I think we should go back to Barbarian or Elvis.
It would be America's grandfather, Harrison.
Ford.
It's. I'll accept that answer. Drew McWeeny
I'll accept it too.
Yes, Harrison Ford.
is correct. All right, so these fellas not blinking so far. Let's see if we can at least get them to smile with the category of comedies. Wow, you sound like Dick Van Dyke laughing at me in the main room. Your question for a point. Which musician stars alongside Steve Martin as the character of Charlene Morton, who needs help proving her innocence after being framed for a crime in the film Bringing Down the House?
So maybe you've met one of these three gentlemen, but of the three amigos, who would you have met? Martin, Short, or Chase?
I know a family member of
Martin
Chevy Chase.
Short or Chase. Get
Not
it?
him.
Steve Martin and Martin
Never
Short.
met any of them. Swing and a miss.
Martin Short.
Let's go
And
to The
Martin.
Godfather for hopefully a swing and not a miss.
Queen Latifah.
He got it. He's got 6 points to
Oh, it's
Barbarian's
that
5, unless Barbarian also had the
movie.
answer.
Yeah, I did see that
Queen
movie.
Latifah.
Yeah, I did see that
Correct,
movie.
Amundo,
I
and
did-
we
I
only have
forgot
2
about it.
questions left in round
remember
1,
liking it,
separating
but-
these two guys from a perfect round.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have no
I did
idea
see that
if
movie.
or when either of these gentlemen will ever miss a question, but their 7th question does come in the category of fantasy sci-fi. The
At least now I
Voyage
know its
of the
title.
Dawn Treader is the 3rd installment in what fantasy movie franchise?
You know, I don't want to brag too much in round 1, but I was a Dawn Treader this morning. Worked out at 6:30 in the a.m.
Perfect. So you're
Where were you?
an hour late to our meeting at 5:30. Wonderful.
4, 3, 2, 1. I've earned the right to sleep in. Let's go to The Barbarian.
It's the,
The
Chronicles
Chronicles
of
of
Narnia.
That we'll accept that. How about The Godfather?
That would be The Chronicles of Narnia.
Perfect so far, and now to seal the deal with a perfect round 1, they have but one question left. That category is in the world that Andrew knows a little something about, action-adventure films. And your question, which Oscar-winning actor plays Simon Peter Gruber in Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Simon Says. This was my Die Hard movie. I was, I'm a late 80s baby, so this was my Die Hard film.
I do love this movie dearly. 4, 3, 2, 1.
think I know
Closing
it.
us out in round 1 possibly is The Godfather.
Guy who should have won the Oscar for Dead Ringers, Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
He has a perfect round and will receive a
I
bonus
said
question. How about
Jeremy
Elvis
Irons in a
/ his
Die Hard
companion?
question in
Simon
a different
says Jeremy
match.
Irons.
Got it wrong.
They're both perfect. Drew,
yeah.
did you expect
I need to
anything
remember which
less?
of
Everybody
the-
out there watching,
which
this
of the
is
Die
what
Hard
these two
movies
guys are
Jeremy Irons
capable
was
of. They
in.
will now be asked a bonus question.
Yeah, it was Uncle Star
Same
himself,
rigmarole we've
Jer-
been doing because both of you
Jeremy
did go
Irons.
perfect. You'll be writing down your answer and wait for us to ask you by name to reveal your answer. Andrew Guy, at your ready.
All right, The Barbarian and The Godfather. In the category of bonus, what Oscar-winning 1990s film features supporting performances from Judi Dench, Jeffrey Rush, and Ben Affleck?
I saw Die Hard with a Vengeance twice in one day in the theater the day it opened.
No, that's not 1990s.
My
That's
aunt took me in the morning, and then I took my friends that night. It was great.
Ben Affleck.
4, 3, 2, 1. And
All right, let's go to The Barbarian.
Shakespeare in Love.
Shakespeare in Love is correct. Does The Godfather have it for the tie?
Shakespeare in Love.
Wow.
They have not missed
Shakespeare
yet.
in Love.
Not 1, but 2, 3 if you count Elvis. Perfect rounds in round number 1. As we get into round number 2, this is the wheel round, and it works as thus. Each competitor gets a spin at the wheel once you settle on a category. 4 questions emerge from that particular realm. It's worth
Will
2 points, but if
Gucci
you're not
show
sure of
up,
the answer,
though?
you
Is
can always ask us
Gucci
for
there?
multiple choice in this round only. We'll give you 4 options, one of which the powers that be tell us is the correct answer. At that point, the value of the question does go down to 1. Keep in mind, stealing is available in round number 2, so you may want to use that multiple choice after all. Those are the rules, gentlemen, and now by proxy of who was introduced second, it is the Barbarian who gets to choose whether he would like to spin that wheel first or defer to his opponent.
We would like to spin first.
They are going to spin first, and Andrew, this is maybe the moment we've all been waiting for, so we'll let Drew McWeeny relax in the green room, and whoever's managing for the Finstock Exchange today is about to emerge.
Oh, hello,
Ladies and
Lieberman.
Ty Lieberman is going to be the de facto
Lieberman.
manager. Hello, Mr. Lieberman.
Hello, Mr. Ellis, Mr. Guy. Hello.
Do you
Greetings,
always
Tyrant.
have a glass of wine with you wherever you go, Tyrant?
And a
Of
scarf.
course, I leave one in every room, like the kid in Signs leaves water around the house. I leave wine around the house, so I'm never without.
Okay, well, good to see you, Ty. Before we get into your 60 seconds with the Barbarian, how much advance notice did you get, if any, that you were going to be the manager today?
I had time to find a belt.
Okay, then the 60 seconds is all yours, starting now.
Okay, that's some
Greetings,
Well-
well, questions.
Greetings, Barbarian. What a first round. You got them all just like I taught you. Now, you could have had anyone come in here today. You could have had the spiritual salvation of our brother Lomas. You could have had the cool, gloved hands of downtown Griffey Nooms. But you chose me,
I thought he
the
was gonna go
tyrant,
with the
because you
razor,
know
but
that I can bring you the power and glory you need to continue doing well in this match. Now, I believe since you did perfect in the first round, you don't need too much guidance right now. Just stay in your zone, that special Barbarian zone, that place that only you know.
Elvis also knows it.
Yes, and Elvis. Hi, Elvis.
He's a pretty good manager so far.
I'm scared,
I
Mark.
He,
I think
he,
Elvis
asked-
actually said hi. Okay, let's bring up the wheel.
he was asking for a wine recommendation.
This is a blend of Tom Dagnino and Kevin Smith. It's the Snoochie Boochie Gucci.
Oh, boy.
Wow, that
just
sounds toxic.
sounds like it's coming out the same way it went in.
Yep.
Robert De Niro
Robert
is
De
the
Niro.
spin. So 60 seconds, gentlemen. Do you want to keep the category of Mr. De Niro?
Well, Craig, it's a broad one, but how comfortable are you with the great thespian Robert De Niro?
We are big fans of the lengthy career of Mr. Robert De Niro, so we will gladly take this.
I love it. Bring it down, my friend. Bring it down.
I hate to say this, but that was actually pretty refreshing to not have Gucci in there. So it is going to be 4 questions for the Barbarian, proctored by the great Andrew Guy. Keep in mind, gentlemen, stealing is available, so we need to see your hands at all times. That makes us feel safe and secure. So 4 questions, each one worth 2 points. Andrew, it's the category of one of the great thespians of all time.
Hands.
Yep, Bobby D
He's always
here in round
smoking his
number
Elvis.
2, and I gotta say, the Tyrant did a pretty dang good job there. So here we go. The Barbarian, in the category of Robert De Niro, you got 4 questions coming your way, 2 points apiece, unless, of course, you do check down, and these are available for steals. Robert De Niro, your first question. Which comedic actor plays a gangster named Frank Milo, opposite Robert De Niro, in 1993's Mad Dog and Glory?
We will say Bill Murray.
Milbury.
I don't know if he can. I guess he can talk to Elvis. It seems fair, and it gets 2
He's
points
the
for the
Elvis
Barbarian
whisperer.
here. Bill Murray is correct.
It is legal. And so Elvis seemingly pulling that answer as we progress to question 2.
Question 2 here in the category of
Is it
Robert De
even
Niro.
fair
Who
to
directed?
use Elvis?
Who directed Robert De Niro in the 2001 heist film, The Score?
The score.
We believe that would be Frank Oz.
Well, Ellis, they would be correct. Give him 2 more points. That puts the Barbarian 13 up to McWeeny's 9 right now, but still 2 perfect games so far as we get to our third question in the category of Robert De Niro. What is the current profession of Robert De Niro's character, Jack Walsh, in the action comedy Midnight Run?
Midnight Man.
We believe he is a bounty hunter.
12 questions perfect in a row here for the Barbarian. Give him 2 more points, 15-9, and a chance to end at
3
17
times
here.
as much
The
as
Barbarian,
I-
your final question in the category of Robert De Niro. Who directed the 1990 drama Awakenings, starring Robert De Niro and Robin Williams?
All right. We believe it is someone named after money, Penny Marshall.
Slight disagreement there, Ellis, but the Barbarian and Elvis are correct. Once again, a perfect round 2, a perfect game, 17-9 here at the end of our midpoint of round 2.
Hey, look, it's a backup manager, Barbarian and Elvis, having some testy words with each other, but it got the job done. He has not missed a question or even needed the aid of multiple choice or a JTE rule yet, and so we let him and Elvis relax in the green room, and we bring in Drew McWeeny's manager, the usual suspects, Sam Levine.
Godfather.
What's up, Sam?
Buddy, you're crushing it. That was a perfect round 1. You even focused and pulled focus. So
there you go.
You're in the zone, man. Look, that was that was hard to watch.
The answer.
Because of course I know we're both sitting there going, "Wow, I wish we'd have gotten De Niro. I could answer those with one eye open, one hand behind my back."
Good category.
That was a great category.
Well, you
those
can't
were
have
good
your
questions
one
for
hand
someone
behind
who
your back
reads
because you need to
magazines,
see
and
your
I
hands
think
the
you
whole
are
time.
going to do the exact same thing.
I just wish I could put hands on the wheel, you know?
I know. You like to spin from the wheel, not from the pegs, but it's okay.
Yeah. All right.
You're gonna spin well. I feel good about this.
I do too. Here we go.
The one thing I've not missed
Go ahead.
is the spin from the wheel, not the pegs.
Yeah, I don't think anyone misses that. McWeeny, kind of known for being a master with the wheel, and look at that. He avoids opponent's choice by a sliver, and he gets courtroom and legal thrillers.
Pretty sure
Gentlemen, you have
McQueen's good at
60
that.
seconds to talk this through.
But then again, what the hell do I know?
I like courtroom and legal thrillers. How do you feel?
I feel okay. I mean, they're good. It's a good category.
Right.
I'm not scared of the category. I mean,
No,
there's
I don't
stuff
think
love
you are,
more
but
on the wheel.
Yeah, there's so many more things on this wheel that we like, and so few things that we don't like. So, if you'd like to spin again, I support this.
Sure, let's go one more time.
All right, let's spin from the pegs this time.
All right, they get a mulligan. Andrew, do you know how much he missed hitting opponent's choice by?
Please tell me.
Will bet. Will bet. Will bet. No? No?
No, I think.
Oh, DreamWorks
All right, and we need to go
Animation.
super up close for this one, and it is DreamWorks Animation.
Animation.
Go get him, Godfather.
I don't know
DreamWorks
how well he's
Animation
gonna
is
do
the
with that.
category for Drew McWeeny. So, Drew, 4 questions, 2 points apiece,
I'd
unless
say
you
Barbarian's
need
pretty
multiple
good at that.
choice, and your questioning begins now. In the 2000 Aardman Animation's co-production Chicken Run, what movie star provides the voice of the rooster Rocky?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson is correct for 2 points. McWeeny on the board in round 2 to continue the trend of perfect answers. Your next question. What is the subtitle of the 2020 sequel to the film The Croods?
A New Beginning.
The Croods, A New Age.
Dang it.
He continues the trend.
Dang
2
it.
more points, and he is within 4 of the Barbarian's
I'm
lead.
pretty sure New Beginning
He can
is
get this
the
next
subtitle
one. He'll be
of
within
a movie.
2,
I just don't remember
and
which
that is, which character tricks Shrek into allowing himself to be erased from existence and cast in a dark alternate timeline in the film Shrek Forever After?
Rumpelstiltskin. At least I knew that. Deary.
Donkey.
That is incorrect. And so for a massive 2-point steal, we go to the Barbarian. The question, which character tricks Shrek into allowing himself to be erased from existence and cast in a dark alternate timeline in the film Shrek Forever After?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Is correct for a big
Magic always
2-point
comes with a
steal.
price. Be careful what
There
you
it
wish
is. And we go back to Drew McWeeny for his final question in round 2. And that is, in the category of DreamWorks Animation, who provides the voice of the title character in the 2011 film Puss in Boots?
Antonio Banderas.
Is correct, and that puts a salve on that steal, getting McWeeny to within 4 of Barbarian's lead. But that is what we're looking at here. It is now 19-15. Barbarian enjoying a 4-point lead as we go into round 3.
Not a very
the round
good year.
that will determine the match, Andrew.
Yeah, it's crazy when you see one question give a 4-point swing in the game, but round number 3 is where everything is laid on the line. We all know what that 5-pointer can do, and both these guys have pretty good success in this round.
All right, so we go to the rules of round number 3. They are as follows. Each competitor is going to give us a series of numbers. These numbers may range from 1 to 20. You may not pick the same integers as your opponent because each numeral corresponds to a unique category of movie, trivia, Schmoedown, mystery.
So when you beginning is actually the subtitle.
2 points for the first one, 3 points for the second one, and if you get it right, 5 points
A Nightmare on
for the
Elm
final
Street.
question in
Part
round
5.
number 3. JTE rules and
cannot
challenges
believe
remain
I
intact.
actually
Barbarian, you
pulled
have
a new
4-point
beginning out of
lead.
who
So
knows where.
between you and Elvis, what 3 numbers in round 3 feel the luckiest?
Dedication to our dear Red Sonia, 8, 2, and 6.
Well done, 8, 2, and 6. And now, Drew McWeeny, your 3 lucky numbers.
I'm going to take 13, 15, and 18.
13, 15, and 18 it is. All right, so we will allow the Godfather to relax in the green room for a sec and bring back the manager of the
time
FinStock Exchange for the
Barbarian
day,
mentions
Ty Lieber.
Red Sonia.
Yes. Oh, Barbarian.
I get
Fantastic
sad
work, Barbarian.
for
Fantastic
obvious
work.
reasons, and
It's
I
so
can't imagine
fortunate
what
that you went to
is
that
going
child's birthday party last week where they were showing Shrek 4.
That is
Ever
correct.
after.
I wonder who that child was.
Well, just to let everyone else, I don't want to keep anyone else in the dark. I got a text from Gucci. He's actually, let me just read what it says. Sorry, I'm lost in my vineyard. Man in trench coat chasing me. If you don't hear from me by,
And that's it.
I don't know. I'm sure he's okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think he owns a vineyard, so it's
Well,
probably within that
Someone
man's right
else's
to chase.
vineyard then. Hey, Craig, you perfect so far. You're perfect before you got into this
With the
game, and
steal.
you're perfect right now. You have 3 questions left. Maybe you won't even need all 3 questions, but I think you're going to get all 3 questions.
10
This
seconds.
day has been perfect. You're perfect.
I want
My
Craig to
friend,
have a TKO.
let's get this round 3.
This season.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Will do, sir.
I mean, he's already
Goodbye
got
to
a
the
KO on
FinStock
his
Exchange,
record
and
for him.
hello to the usual
I want to
suspects.
have a
Sam, you have
TKO
60
this
seconds to talk about vineyards with
Really
your competitor.
stick the nail
What's up, Sam?
in the-
Hey, buddy,
The t-shirt he's
shake it
wearing.
off. It is a 4-point difference right now.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So what you've only got one job to do, and that is use all 3 JTE rules if you need them, and give some
Get him
correct
to his
answers. I've often told people this is a game where, believe it or not, luck is a pretty big factor. So right now we've gotten some bad luck, but there's what's to say that they won't get some bad luck. So let's just do what we do. Use the time you have. You have all your JTEs. You have a challenge if
Yep.
you need. So take your time. Be the Godfather. Give some correct answers. It ain't over till it's over. And let's do it, man.
All right, here we go.
All right, and so it is the Godfather with a 4-point hole he's hoping to fill with correct movie trivia answers. If he gets his 2 and his 3, he's at least avoided a TKO, and will put some pressure on the Barbarian's other shoulder, not occupied by his companion. And so he selected number 13 for his 2-point category. What's he looking at?
He sure did, Ellis. Number 13 corresponds to Julia Roberts. A Miss Julia Roberts here for your 2-pointer.
Julia Roberts.
The Godfather. Julia Roberts plays the Queen to Lily Collins' Snow White in what 2012 film?
Mirror, mirror.
Give him 2 points, and narrowing the gap just a bit is Drew McWeeny with that correct Julia Roberts question. Drew, oh, go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just going to say, I didn't know that was his answer. I thought he was just talking to his mirror. I was waiting for more.
Drew, you selected number 15 for your second number. That is going to correspond to the category of Westerns. Westerns for your 3-point question. The lead, and to send it back over to the Barbarian. 3 points. For what film did John Wayne win his only Academy Award?
He knows it.
Rooster Cogburn. Oh, I'm sorry. It is True Grit. My mistake.
That is incorrect, even though he is able to recover. He says Rooster Cogburn, which is the character's name and the sequel to True Grit. But True Grit is the answer, and because of that, Mark, we have to stay with Drew McWeeny for his 5-point question. We see
Hi,
you've been
everybody.
infiltrated by a manager, Mark Ellis.
Sam Levine is
Yeah.
entered the chat, and I believe I know what you want. Sam, is it a challenge?
Of course it's
Yes.
a challenge. No
Of course
ruling
it's
has
a
been
challenge.
made. None whatsoever. My man said something, and then no correct, incorrect, nothing had been ruled on, and he corrected himself, and we have a rule book that specifies that that is okay.
All right, so we now bring in Ty Lieberman as well to weigh in on the challenge. It's a
I was
big
not
day
prepared
you.
for this.
Okay,
That's
not
his
good.
FOFA manual.
the rule book. Yeah. Ty, do you have any counter argument you'd like to wager?
Well,
just like
may I
Guy
ask
said, it's the
Barbarian
name
to
of
speak
the
on my
sequel.
behalf?
You may.
Barbarian, do you have a challenge?
Well, I don't have a challenge. The
you have a counter-argument?
The counter argument to the challenge is that he said the answer Rooster Cogburn, and then admitted that it was wrong. Rooster Cogburn is the name of the film, and so
Right, but
It's the name of a different movie.
So we'll have the judges rule as they will on the challenge.
All right, then. We will be right back with our ruling on the challenge.
I mean, if the answer he gave is the answer,
We're back
to a
and we have the
different
combination.
movie,
As for the ruling of the challenge, it will
Shouldn't
be
get the
as
point.
follows. Now, it's always easy to just simply give an answer and then say final answer so that we know that is your final answer. However, it is also accepted to simply give an answer with confidence, and we accept that as the final answer. Here's where it gets oh so tricky, is because Drew McWeeny did catch himself. He said Rooster Cogburn, and before Andrew and I were able to make a ruling, he did immediately realize it was a mistake. He did not usher final answer, and this is one of those 51-49% back and forth debates. He did not say final answer. He caught himself, we're going to say, just in the nick of time. He did pull true grit, and so the challenge of Sam Levine and the Usual Suspects will be upheld. Drew McWeeny will be awarded the points, and we will move on with the match, scoring at
Smart
3
challenge.
for Drew McWeeny, and he now has a
Was a
1-point
smart
lead
challenge.
over the Barbarian.
Big challenge there, Mark. You know, it's really tough for managers and competitors to always know when it's the right moment to do it. Sam knows this game very well, and like you said, it was only a 51-49. It ends off paying off by just a little bit, but still a big mountain to climb does Drew McWeeny have in front of him.
You said tough for competitors and managers and announcers. And now we move on to the Barbarian, who has avoided TKO no more for him. Thanks to Drew McWeeny, it is 20-19. Drew McWeeny now with the lead. And so, Barbarian, we do go to you for your 2-point question. That is in the category of Disney films. And your
Disney.
question for 2 points and to regain the lead: which actress stars as Maggie Payton in 2005's Herbie Fully Loaded?
Is it Miley Cyrus?
We believe that would be Lindsay Lohan.
We knew Abigail Friel knew it, and now we know the
The
Barbarian
other.
and Elvis also know it. That is correct.
Pops,
It is
yeah.
now, once again, the
For some
lead of the
reason, I
Barbarian,
don't know, Miley
21 to
Cyrus's face
20.
is in my
Andrew
mind.
Guy, here is
Doesn't
where
happen very
we
often, can I
stand.
just say,
Topsy-turvy,
just put
zigging
it
and
that
zagging,
out.
challenge-induced game though it may be, we now
Yeah,
have
as soon
a
as you
clear
said
path to
Lindsay Lohan,
victory
yeah, my mind kinda
for
snapped back into
Drew
reality.
McWeeny, or at least to stay alive in this match. He's got to hit his 5-pointer if he wants to keep pressure on the Barbarian.
That's right. The toughest question in the game, but it all depends on that category. Mr. McWeeny and Mr. Ellis, 18 was the number that was said, and that coincides directly to the 2010s. The 2010s. For 5 points, the lead, and to send it back to the Barbarian to answer his 3 and his 5. For 5 points, Drew McWeeny, category 2010s. Who directed Saoirse Ronan and Kate Blanchett in the 2011 action thriller Hannah?
Joe Wright.
He doesn't take his time. He does not need it, Ellis. 5 big points to the Godfather, 25-21, and the Barbarian has to answer a couple questions to take this match.
That's right. What a performance by the Godfather, Drew McWeeny. 25 points in total for his 3 rounds, and now it is on the Barbarian, who, for point scoring purposes, is going to field his 3-pointer. In the context of winning and losing, does not matter. He's going to have to hit that 5-pointer regardless. But We do go in order of gameplay here, and to honor your 3 Red Sonja numbers, Barbarian, we go to 2 for your 3-point category, and that corresponds to the world of the 1990s.
He could have a 29
And your
points,
question for 3 points and to pull to within 1. The Godfather's lead. Who directed the 1994 film Stargate?
Oof. I think that's another Geek question. Wait, no, Stargate is not in IG.
Roland Emmerich.
That makes sense.
Is correct for 3 points. And it all comes down to this. 25 for the Godfather, 24 for the Barbarian, and it is now a 5-pointer for the Barbarian. He's got to have. You selected category 6 for your 5-point question, and that corresponds to the Flight of Fancy world of musicals. Musicals is the category, and for 5 points and the win. Your question. In what 1990s musical does a character named Jack dream of leaving New York to move to Santa Fe?
Oh, he's got all 3 of his JTs.
5, 4, 3.
Repeat
2.
the question.
All right, you have 2 remaining. In what 1990s musical does a character named Jack dream of leaving New York to move to Santa Fe? Five, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat the question.
All right, you have 1 remaining. In what 1990s musical does a character named Jack dream of leaving New York to move to Santa Fe? Five, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat the question.
Your final one is at hand. Categories musicals. In what 1990s musical does a character named Jack dream of leaving New York to move to Santa Fe? Five, 4, 3.
Say The Music Man.
And your winner!
The Godfather, Drew McWeeny! We were looking for Newsies. Wow! What we were looking for, Christian Bale in his glorious youth.
Newsies was the answer, and after a match for the controversial ages, to say the least, it is going to be the usual suspects, and Drew McWeeny taking the win. We'll let these fellas cool off before they have an exclusive interview with Jen Sturger. Andrew, people are going to be talking about it, and that is just how the movie Trivia Schmoedown goes sometimes. In your estimation, The Godfather and The Barbarian, I don't really see a lack of knowledge for either one of them. It just comes down to a very difficult 5-pointer.
It's just the way the ball bounces, my friend. That's what the movie Trivia Schmoedown is all about. And it felt very appropriate for the usual suspects to win in the manner that they did. Sam Levine gets his glorious challenge in. It's upheld, which actually ends up working out. I think it's a good challenge. It was a very tough decision for us to make, but you like to see when managers really earn their money. And then in fashion of Drew McWeeny, you see him stumble a bit in round 2 by making some of the mistakes that Drew McWeeny has shown in the past. Maybe getting a little ahead of himself with Donkey, getting a little ahead of himself with Rooster Cogburn, but luckily for himself, he knows so much. That 5-pointer he's able to pull, he breezes through round 3, and like you said, a tough 5 for his opponent, and here we are.
It really was. It's a very, very tough ruling to make, but an even tougher one for the Barbarian to stomach simply because he played so very well today. You know they're going to be licking their wounds, but it was a great performance by him. And I'd say first-time manager Ty Lieberman. We'll hear from them in just a moment, but right now we do go to the winners, which is the usual suspects, Drew McWeeny and Sam Levine, with an interview from our own Jen Sturger.
Sam, are you still sweating?
Look, I'm very glad that I read the book. I'm very glad that what of course I feel, and I'm sure Drew feels, was the correct ruling was made. I understand 51-49. Maybe if Drew's hadn't gotten there quite as fast, maybe if someone had said something, it might have gone the other way. I'm obviously very glad the way it went. I'm glad we challenged. And, I talked about good luck, bad luck, and yeah, they got a little bad luck over there too. Like, they asked a question that's virtually impossible to answer unless you've seen the movie and know the movie. And just as the point Drew lost on, unless you know that movie pretty well, the Shrek movie, that's a hard one to answer. So, sometimes the bad luck comes your way in round 2. Sometimes it hits you in round 3, and if it's your 5-pointer, that can swing a match.
Absolutely, but I think if we're being completely honest, a lesser manager may not have made that challenge, or may not have realized what the actual rule was.
Mm-hmm.
So,
this
Drew
is why
McWeeny,
I'm
you've
on
got
this
to be
team.
you got to be feeling pretty confident in just Sam's ability to manage you through these tough situations, and just know that he's got your back.
Here, yes, yeah, this is why I'm here. Like when we were a team as players, it was the same thing, and definitely when it was. When I have him in my corner during a match, I know that he's paying attention to the game. He's paying attention to every part of the game. All I'm there to do is play and keep focused on the questions. And Sam's got everything else. And this was a perfect example of it. And I heard the answer come out of my mouth because I was answering the question, what role did he win the Oscar for? And then was like, no, it's True Grit. I know the character, I know the film. So yes, I'm very happy that they made the ruling they did.
Absolutely. When we talk about DreamWorks, though, is this just something that you necessarily it's not as much your bag?
Well, I mean, I raised kids during this era, and I worked press during this era. I saw all these movies. It's just a matter of keeping them straight in your head. I went to Cannes for a Kung Fu Panda film. Yeah, I definitely, I've been exposed to all these, voluntarily or not. These were a big part of about 15 years of my life.
Mm-hmm. So where do we go from here, gentlemen? Obviously this is a huge win for you guys against a very formidable opponent in Barbarian. What's next?
There's no
tell
question.
Me, Sam.
Well, there's no question that Barbarian is a formidable opponent, and I would not want to face him any day of the week. The guy knows his stuff. No question about it. I mean, he played a nearly perfect match right up until the very
frighteningly
end.
Perfect.
Frighteningly perfect match. There is no question that he has a long and storied Schmoedown career ahead of him. As far as where we go next, Drew and I got to talk it over. This is, I know Drew is a teams guy, but I've always felt he could make a singles run like anyone else. So we're going to sit down, we're going to figure it out, we're going to talk to the chairman and see what looks good. But I feel very good about where we go from here.
Highest of praise from his former teammate, Sam Levine. Congratulations, Drew McWeeny.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen.
It's good seeing you in the winner's circle.
Yep.
Thrilled usual suspects team there with a big W here today with one of their real premier players because Drew McWeeny, I know he wants to get back to 500 and then possibly above it, so he's looking for that next match to at least pull within even, but what a statement he made today against one of the best players in the league, the Barbarian.
May have been 3 years since McWeeny got a win, but what a monumental win here because of his opponent and because of how he worked with his manager. Those two things are integral when you're telling this story. We heard all about him and Sam. We don't need to, revisit that, but what Barbarian did in this match, he missed one question and he got a steal. That's it. And the guy loses the match. That's how competitive the MTS is now. That's why when you watch competitors and you see what happens to their faces in round 2, when they hit opponent's choice or when they miss a question, you see them get demoralized. Now we need to see the Barbarian stay mentally strong and move forward. He just went head-to-head with one of the best in the game. He's got a loss to Bibbs and a loss to Drew McWeeny. If that's my losses in singles, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why they pay Jen Sturgeon the big bucks is for interviews like what you're about to see. With the losing faction today, the Finstock Exchange, Ty Lieberman and the Barbarian and Elvis after a very tough match.
No prayers, no good luck or anything like that? Come on, Ellis. You know I'm going to need it.
Can they find you in the Schmoedown?
Me personally? No, I think
can they find me in this? Can they find me? Because I got some stuff to say about that steaming pile of nonsense.
So I take it you were
Why
not
I
a huge
oughta?
fan of the challenge.
Why I oughta?
No.
But yet you can't come up with a counter argument for me here.
I don't have time to read the full book within 3 minutes. I'd give you an answer. I might change it in 5 seconds, and it would be the same, accepted the same way. Aye, it's a Travis Sam mockery. End of Tyrant.
Wow. A Barbarian, it has to feel a little demoralizing to play at the level that you played today and to not walk away with this win.
This was a win we really wanted. This was a win that was within our grasp when we were considering musicals. We did consider Newsies, but we thought that it was in the 80s. So that's on us. But yeah, we have had back-to-back singles losses where we missed one question and scored 20 some odd points and still haven't been able to get the job done. So we're going to hit the books even harder. And once this singles tournament comes, we're going to run through it like a fist runs through a camel's face.
Wow.
I got that reference!
So obviously we have to
understood
address the elephant in the room.
reference!
And that's Tom not showing up. Aside from the whole alleged winery text, what's up with this?
What's the difference between a winery and a vineyard? I never
believe
understood
that he would not have missed this if he did not have some urgent business to attend to, so I don't fault him.
It just feels kind of odd that he would miss the match of basically his right-hand man, the guy that helped him put together this entire faction. And it's like the one day you kind of need his support.
Where they
he's
had
nowhere
a
to be
challenge
found.
where they desperately needed him.
Well, that is why I am
found.
here.
Yeah.
I'm here to offer my support, Tom's support, through me as a vessel. And unfortunately, I couldn't get it done today. And I take some responsibility, but mostly it's Tom.
And how did you feel your managing debut went?
You know, I honestly didn't think there was too much of this managing business. What a good manager is just really the sum of his players. But I have to give credit, I hate saying this, give credit to Sam Levine on an excellent challenge.
Yeah.
Grinds my gears, but I must give him that credit. You know, I joined the Schmoedown to have power in the league. And look, after only a couple of matches, a couple of months, I'm managing a faction? Just think of what's next for me, the Tyrant.
I'd rather not.
And Barbarian. I feel for you, but good job.
Oh, tough loss today, Barbarian. I'm sure Elvis, your emotional support animal person, whatever, will help you through this difficult time.
Well, a predictably sullen mood at the Finstock Exchange, or at least for the Barbarian and Elvis. Ty Lieberman kind of maybe seems like he
great.
maybe lost the match, but won the job of manager, which, again, we don't know where Gucci is, if he will show up, if he's going to disappear in a Santa Barbara vineyard sometime shortly here after the match. But we do know this, the Barbarian to be feared, and McWeeny getting the W over him in as close of a match as you and I can remember, partner.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of questions left on the table at the end of this match. What's next for McWeeny? What's next for Barbarian? But most importantly, what would have been different if his manager was here? The Tyrant was very transparent when he talked about not reading the rule book. On the other hand of it, Sam Levine has it memorized. That's what it's all about, being a manager. And you saw how much it paid off today. I just have to leave that question on the table as we say our goodbyes, Mark. What if Gucci was here?
I can answer that question somewhat, is that even if Gucci was here, the managers make their cases during a challenge, but I do feel confident that as tough as it is our job and ultimately my job to make the ruling and deliver it, and I feel it was correct, even with as tough and as slim of a margin as we had here today. So that's how it goes. For future matches and all the updates you want, go to the Schmoedownlive.com. You can also purchase tickets for upcoming live events, I hear, possibly coming back. And on the subject of pay-per-views, we give you at least 3 a month. To join those and watch them as they air live, make sure you join our Schmoedown Patreon. Any patron at the $10 and above tier gets all pay-per-view matches first run all season long. It's a great deal, and it was a good match here today. Andrew, Guy, great to see you, buddy.
Great to see you, too. What a great match we had today, and I'm happy to see the Godfather take a win in singles after 3 years, Mark.
3 years later, he does it again. So for the winning faction, that being the usual suspects and the Finstock Exchange, our behind-the-scenes team here at Skybound, all of our writers, Jen Sturger, Andrew Guy, Christian Harloff, I am merely Mark Baby Carrots Ellis, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Oh, well, I mean, it had... if it had to go one way... it did. I don't understand what I just said just now. But anyways, yeah, great. Like I said, match of the year contender, as far as I'm concerned. And again, it's as per usual. Sam comes in with the challenge, wins it, and wins the match. I think personally that if Gucci was there, he could have offered a rebuttal for the match. I don't necessarily think he would have. The challenge would have gone Barbarian's way, but you never know. I'm almost confident that Gucci can talk his way out of anything at this point. So yeah, maybe. And they had a pretty similar situation not too long ago in a pay-per-view between Roca and Liz Shannon Miller. She said one thing, but realized it was the incorrect answer. But then, no wait, it's a pretty similar situation. Didn't quite go Sam's way in that match, but it went Sam's way today, and well, that's just the way it happens. And again, Barbarian got McWeeny's, got to steal McWeeny's point, and just missed on the Newsies question, which, by his own admission, he knew, just thought it was in the wrong decade, that's all. But, yeah, I mean, they both did better than I did. I only answered 6 questions, so it doesn't even matter, but whatever. Anyways, it's tough to see your favorite player lose again, but that's just the way the Schmoedown goes sometimes, and you just have to learn to live with it. That's what I'll have to say. Still gonna support the Finstock Exchange and all their future endeavors when, Gucci decides to show up. And congratulations to the suspects. And yeah, I'll see you all next week. I just will watch 3 matches back to back to back. And yeah, this thing not looking too good. So yeah, hopefully next time there's some matches to watch, next time there's another round of matches, I won't be having this thing on my head. So thank you for your patience and understanding, and see you guys next week. Goodbye. Hello again, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time.